You are a woman in politics. What can you bring to politics as a woman?
Well, I definitely hope that just by accepting to be the running mate and other women accepting to be running mates and or presidential candidates, we have sent a message to the rest of our sisters that it is time that we also got up and joined the fight for the development of this country. I think that that women have a lot to give. Our cultures and customs have forced some of us to just sit back and just let things go. But I can tell you, if we open the door, which I think we've had enough examples to open that door, including this year's political campaign, a lot of people will finally come out and say that we also have something that we can bring to the table.
And what is that something? What can women bring to politics?
One very good thing that we can bring is patience and nurturing. You know, the guys have this saying that you don't just feed a child. It's difficult to say it in English. You sort of train a ale bi achosio bi. You see, so it's not just the feeding, but you train the child to know what is right, what is wrong, to build the confidence of that child, you know, patiently guiding the child so that they can stand on their own 2 feet and become responsible adults. That's the best way to do things. Now, we are also very much the kind of, human beings who pay attention to detail. Women have that tendency, and therefore when things are going wrong, we tend to see them faster, and we are more inclined to fix things before they go worse, because that's part of what we grew up with. Tradition.
So if women can bring all of this, why are women finding it difficult to break into the political circles?
Well,
is there a difference being a woman? Are there challenges?
Unfortunately, yes. For instance, nobody wants their mothers to be insulted. In any country, you insult somebody's mother, it's a big deal. And therefore, with all these insults and mudslinging and so on, you don't want your sister to be affected, you don't want your mother to be affected, you don't want your wife to be affected. So there's a lot of discouragement anyway. Why are you going to this? I was asked the same question many times. So finally I told them, you know what, if there's mud and they're slinging it, and I don't have anywhere to pass, I'll pass through it, but I have soap and water and sponge in the house. I'll clean myself and start again. Because politics has become, quote-unquote, dirty with all these insults. So people encourage women not to go. Husbands get...
Okay, so culturally there are challenges.
Yes.
Are there other challenges?
And there's stereotyping as well, that this is not a woman's world, it's a man's world, and there are so many challenges. And you know that in terms of education, most women were not encouraged to go as high as they can, no matter how intelligent they are. So you have people thinking that you may not be able to make it, so don't try it. Or you yourself feel that, you know, the men are far ahead in terms of education. But look at what we have. We have this wonderful woman, Ikwa Donko, who has actually joined the PPP after she couldn't file her papers. And she's telling us that she's never been to school. But she knows about oil, how it's treated, what you get from oil. You see, intelligence does not necessarily come from going to school the formal way. Intelligence comes from knowledge, you know, acquiring knowledge, you know, even if it's oral, practical knowledge, and so on. So
definitely,
I think
but it has been suggested too that even the party structures sometimes hinder women from rising up. What do you say about this? Are there challenges within parties?
No. Well, let me put it this way. It's the same thing. The women are not encouraged. And too often we accept to sit back. If you look at churches, if you look at political parties, if you look at student bodies, you see that the president is always a man, the secretary is a woman. If you go to political parties, they are the women organizers and so on. Now, I think that time is past. We have the same brain. if you go to the lab today and dissect a woman's brain and a man's brain, we have all the same things. A man may have more than one man, a woman may have more than the other woman in terms of intelligence, but it cuts across as well. So the woman can do equally well, the same way, or even better. And I keep saying that we are stronger. Why? Because everything that a man can do, a woman can do. But there's one thing that women do that no man can do. Let them bring the children into the world. So if you have 50 plus 1, why is it that a man is better than you? I think that the women should come out. I think they can perform better. We've given the chance to men for a very long time. The world hasn't changed for the better.
But
so why don't we try the other half?
This time, historically, small parties in Ghana have been appointing vice presidential candidates, even since back since 1992. But it hasn't really yielded any results. Are you sure that you will address, that you will get more votes?
Definitely, I think so, because it's time for a woman to be up there as well, to bring on board all the things that over these years have not been put into play. We have the same experience, and now sometimes we have. Now is the time.
How do you know that?
Well, I feel it. And from everything that we've met during the campaign, I've seen women get up, go to their villages to campaign for the PPP just because we met with them, we told them what our platform is, and they said, you are a woman, we know that you will make things happen because you feel the same way as we feel. And we know that when you get up there, the issues about women will be dealt with. It can easily be made a priority instead of what we've been going through for over I don't know how many years.
So what would you say to a working woman, let's say somebody who is working as a nanny and supporting her family? How would PPP in power be better for her than what we have currently?
Well, for instance, we'll formalize that sector in the sense that there has to be policies guiding how house helps and nannies are paid, how they are worked with. You know, some of them don't have contracts. You pay them as much as you want, and nobody does anything in terms of shielding them. I think that there should be a policy in place to protect them, because this is work. They are actually working, and they need to be paid properly for the services that they render. You know, apart from that, we'll also encourage them to go into training, because sometimes they don't have the basic training to actually be a nanny. So they are doing it because that's the job that is available. We will set up systems that will allow them to go and train properly so that they can earn even more money than they are earning now.
And how would you finance that? Sounds like a wonderful program.
Well, you see, it's part of the education setup. We have to be able to give enough money for education and prioritize it, because basically without education, most of what you're doing is either too expensive or it takes too long. The money is there. We can find it from some of the money that goes out through corruption. We can find it from cost savings. We can find it from the GET fund. There are so many avenues where we can pull money together to train these people, because at the end of the day it will improve productivity, which means that we can then develop and have a sustainable development. It's an investment worth making, and we will make that investment.
Read to you some of the comments we're getting from social medias. John from Akwatia is saying, Madam Eva is a good material. The IEA should allow her into the debates. Esi from Kumasi is saying PPP should be given the chance to rule Ghana. It's the best party I have seen.
Wow!
So you're getting some praise here. Joy in Tamale is saying, TV3, you're doing great and this program is marvelous. Please ask the lady to tackle sanitation if she's elected. I think we talked
Yes, I
about
will. Yes, I will, with the whole PPP team, the experts. Yes. Great.
Good. So let's focus on your party for a little bit. So as we said, since 1992, even when women come to join forces, parties have not been doing well. How do you see this, and why is PPP different?
You see, PPP has a policy in place already. For instance, every executive committee has to have minimum 20% women. At every decision-making level, we have women and young people, the youth. And therefore, we are already practicing this policy. This will be translated to the national level, and it will permeate every single entity that is in the country. Because we know that if we look for the women, we will find them. If we invite them, they will come forward. Therefore, we'll create the enabling environment to bring out women so that they can also occupy places that have so far been designated as, male, positions. I think this is 2012. It's way past time that the women took their place.
But should...
So that's what we will do.
Shouldn't the smaller parties join up so that they can really measure up to the two huge parties we have in this country?
Well, we will willingly welcome any party that wants to join us. We've welcomed the party of Madam Ikua Donko. We've welcomed people from different parties that have come to join us. Today, 2 people came. They came and showed us their party card. They've come and joined us. So we are open. We will take on board anybody who believes in the same things that we believe in, or anybody who is willing to accept our platform. We are not afraid to bring on board people. We are already a mixed match. Some of us haven't been in politics before we are there. Some have come from other parties. In fact, all the parties are in our party.